Hello, all of you delightful beings out there, and welcome to the stream. I am Razim, and this is Dovetails, where we're going to be working on our custom Scar system, or stories and creatures in alternate realities. This system is available for open playtest on our Discord as well as itch.io. Go take a look at it. Let us know what you think. And we are using the TF Talk keys today, so transform me to your heart's content. And also we've got Plastic Duck Simulator up there in the upper right because ducks. Quack.
Quack.
So yeah. Quack. Quack. Okay. Just getting all my stuff up here. We had some technical difficulties that kind of have thrown a bit of a wrench in all of my everything today. But we're going to go ahead and start with some suggestions. So, first up on the suggestions, we've got from Lightpaw here, Retributive. This can only be added to damaging moves. This move gains 1 power per attack that dealt damage to you since your last move/turn. If this trait is on a full turn move, you may opt to delay your attack roll by 10 initiative points in order to include any attacks that would hit between your current position and the new position. The second part feels a little bit too complex. I don't know about including that.
Yeah, that ain't...
Yeah, the second part's too complicated, but the first part isn't. It'd be so situational, though.
Well, the first... So...
It'd be like... Would it be like building power where it keeps it, or... up to a maximum, or...
And it's per attack, so if you just get hit with one big attack, it doesn't do much. But if you get hit with Fury, it does a lot. So it's more of an anti-Fury thing? It would be... I think it would be different if it was based on the amount of damage that you took.
I think the best way to do it would be amount of damage you took.
plus power per damage dealt or something. That would be something to bite back at the critical builds.
It definitely...
Also, just like any build, really.
Yeah. The problem is how we determine, like... Because I definitely think that it should be something that is obvious, you know, they're building power. Like, this is clearly a, you know, bide.
Yeah, it's clearly a bide or a counter.
I think we should make it like a status type thing then, or what have you. Where you have to use it one turn and then actually put it to use or something. Or put it in with whatchamacallit, like protect and all that.
I like the idea of this being a condition.
It probably works better as a condition mechanically.
Yeah. Make it a condition, and the first time you use it, you know, people are aware that you've used it and are building up the power. And then the next time that you acquire this condition on you, on yourself, then you explode with it, with the damage that you've taken onto a target. That said, I don't think it should... I think it will be a separate thing from moves, so you're not going to be able to, like, make it AoE or anything, but...
Yeah. What if... So, there are a couple other things, because using this will require that you track how much damage you've taken round over round. And that might get a bit tricky. What if it's just based on missing HP?
The problem with that is that then you could go into, like, a boss fight and just nuke them.
Well, your own missing HP.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Go in with 1 HP left, nuke.
Yeah. Literally, I would see people doing damage to themselves right before a boss fight just to be able to slam them with this.
Well, yeah, but then also it takes the boss having exactly, like, 1 initiative before you to just plink you with something and flick you and you explode.
But then restorative
Also,
you
you need
and...
multiple turns to build it up because it'd be a condition and you need to get it up to 2.
I think it would be better for them to track it. I mean, as far as tracking it on the character sheet goes, let me bring that up. What is this icon? Google, what have you done? Why did you change the icons? The icons were fine. Why?
Oh, Google.
What even is this icon? What have you
Because
done?
Google. They're a corporate entity. They always have to change things every couple of years.
Anyways, I mean, on the character sheet, we can just put in, instead of SR, they put in how much damage they've taken. Because it's not like they're going to have an SR on it. But, yeah, it's just easy to track it that way. Oh, I'm all for Google improving. The problem is that this icon is...
Is it an improvement? That's the question.
Like, it's gonna be hard to see on stream, but... like... you can see this new icon here. And they've also changed the dock one. The dock, so I'm okay with. Actually,
the
no,
Sheets one looks like a little boat.
I take that back. I do not like it because they were all nice and square and uniform.
No, that looks like a van paddle. That's what the Sheets looks like now. That's like a panel off of one of those 1980s Astro vans.
What did they do to the Forbes one?
Turned it into a bad chat icon from the 1990s.
Oh dear.
I liked when they were all square. You know, you can maybe somewhat see it on stream here where, you know, one's green, one's blue. They got slightly different lines, but otherwise it's square. Now you got this one, which is laying on its side with a blue mark on it for some reason. And
I guess they thought squares were out and weird shaped things are in right now.
I would understand if they made it spherical. They didn't.
I would be okay with it if all of them were spherical. The thing that bothers me is that they are all different shapes now. I guess it is nice for colorblind, I suppose, to have different shapes instead of only different colors.
Yeah.
Granted, it still
But
had the
you-
different lines, but
They looked different enough to the point where I had no trouble identifying them.
Ow.
The new... I hate the new sheets. Absolutely hate it.
the Docs one
Fair,
is fine.
fair.
The Docs one I'm fine with. But,
That looks like docs.
yeah, but the sheets, What is with the blue part? It looks like an envelope on its side or something? Why?
Because Google CCO decided that's how it was going to be for now.
There's blue in it?
Yeah, there's a very faint light blue on the left side of it that looks like it's another... It's difficult to see, apart from the green, but... Here, help sheets improve. Report an issue.
The logo sucks.
Other. I do not like that the new logo is a different shape from the Docs one. There. Here are some articles that might help. I don't care. Just go. There. I have made my complaint known. I'm sure they will absolutely cater to my, desires and opinions and, make changes. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Absolutely.
Anyways, distraction aside there. Holy shit, that was an ADHD moment. Yeah, I think making it a condition where you apply it, you start building power, and then... And I think it should be the damage you take past integrity. But what are your guys' thoughts on that?
Is it reusable?
I would say when you burst it, then it resets to 0. But this way you can also decide when you want to use it, because, you can sit there, and obviously it'll only last for the scene, so you can't go, from small enemy and then into boss fight and then just boom. No, none of that. But I am thinking they can build it up as long as they want, and then whenever they acquire the condition again, it explodes.
Okay. So, if you're at 1, it starts tracking. If you're at 2, you can choose to have it explode for its effect. If you have it explode, does it go back down to 1 or does it go down to 0?
It goes to 0.
Alright, in that case, I feel like it should not keep tracking while it's at 0.
Well,
And
yeah.
back up to 1, yeah.
Yeah, it won't keep tracking. That's what I'm saying, is it goes to 0 and stops tracking and all of that, and...
Is there any benefit to a potential third?
I could see it where the damage is... where you roll with lower difficulty.
Yeah, that would be worth it. So it's 1 power for damage, like basically the highest amount of damage you've taken past your integrity. Or is it just damage you've taken past your integrity?
Just damage you've
While it's
taken
tracking.
past your integrity.
Alright, so, like, let's say while it's tracking, over the course of 2 turns, you've taken 10 damage past your integrity, so you can then proceed to, explode it for 10 power.
Exactly. And the explosion itself will be, free action, since you have to acquire the condition from somewhere else using an action. Granted, an ally could give it to you, but
Well, sorry, you're a sacrificial lamb now. Get out there.
I mean, this is going to upscale some builds a lot, and it's gonna downscale some other builds. But basically anything we add will do that.
And also, like, this can be countered very easily by the remove condition thing.
Yeah.
And if your accuracy is horrible, it doesn't do much, does it?
That is actually a good question. I think, considering how long you have to build it for, and that it's a dice roll for the power, it just has bypass accuracy.
This would also stop it from critting.
That would be fine, though, because then some character
Yeah.
that doesn't have a whole lot of power or anything like that could honestly use it, including a certain synth that I'm now actually considering making sure has it nearly immediately and just has it on hand.
Yeah. No, I was saying, like, they can't crit as a good thing, because I don't think
Yeah.
they should be allowed to crit. So,
Bypass accuracy it is, it sounds like.
yeah. Bypass accuracy has to be in melee range, single target. Or does it work at distance?
I say by default melee, but they can get a feat for range.
Okay.
And for the feat,
Okay.
I'd say just long range.
Yeah, that'd make it worth.
Yeah.
Be a niche feat, but if you want it, you want it.
We got a lot of niche feats, and that's okay.
Yep.
People use them.
Alright, give me a moment to note this down.
Yep.
Be right back really quickly. I'm going to take my meds.
There, how's that look? Pet, pet, pet the Ido.
All right, let's see. Retributive, stage 1, damage past integrity, yep.
And there's the note for the feat.
Yep. Seems good. Seems good.
Alright, next up... Move... Oh wait, Era stepped away.
Yep.
So in other news, Raijin cute.
True.
Well, of course.
The ducks quack.
They do.
There, I made it quack.
Quack.
Quack!
I forgot about a joke that I made literally like half an hour ago. Clicked onto a chat and saw my own joke and laughed. It's not even a good joke. It's just me using a reaction image that's been absolutely tearing through some of the groups that I'm in, and I just sent it and I looked over and I was just laughing at it now. You know those like fandom specific really shitty like MS Paint reaction images that go around? It's one of those. It's beautiful. So basically there's a really hard boss fight, and for this guy, if you use enough units of his faction, his first turn he'll just use an ability called "Oh wait, you're part of the fam?" ? And then in the second turn he has another move he uses just called "Tricked Me, did you?" Because on the first turn, you attack him. So look in the streaming room. It's a beautiful reaction image.
Oh my.
Tricked me, did you?
Tears.
You know what? Here, I'll put this in media share as well, just cause.
What if you don't actually attack him?
There. Basically, you kind of have to, in order to like start a turn, you have to equip skills. So if the turn doesn't start, obviously nothing happens. But once you start a turn, he'll realize it.
You can't, like, defend or something?
His entire faction has a rule where all of your defensive skills need to be counters, which is an offensive defensive skill. Which means your defensive skills are offensive if you have his faction.
So everything is offense.
Also, they dress like Yakuza and have the same obsession with vengeance as Warhammer Fantasy Dwarves.
Oh my.
They look ridiculous and fabulous at the same time. Here, I'll also dump some of them into streaming room.
I'll just put him in media sharing. Also, you back, Era?
Yeah, I'm back. I've been back.
Oh, he never said.
I did say.
Did
I
you?
commented. That might be Discord being stupid.
Yeah, that might be a
None
Discord.
of us
Oh.
heard. So, next up from Lightpaw, move trait, counterattack. This move gains 2 power, but does not attack immediately. Instead, you counter an attack that would... Oh, this is just parry. Well, technically it works differently than parry, but I don't think we need this.
Parry the platypus?
All right, where's that fucking random? I have a fighting game meme where it's it's a platypus and then it's platypus using a parry and then it's parry the platypus.
Can you pin the one you're on really quickly so I can jump to it? Some you deleted the one, and I got jumped. Yeah, Discord's being dumb.
There you go.
That's not attacking me.
Thank you.
I mean, there could be a move trait where it gains power if used for a power parry.
I don't think
Not
we
as a
want
replacement, but yeah, I was about to say, like,
I'm not.
it
feeling
would definitely make parry super strong. But I'm just saying, like, you know, in order to make that work, that would kind of have to be it.
Alright,
The
so
only way
sounds
where
like
it would
pass.
be reasonable, the only way that it would be reasonable is if you couldn't repose with it, and even then, it'd still be strong.
Well, I mean, this is literally repose.
Well, yeah, but I mean, like, for the parry portion, like, it would gain the power,
Oh, yeah.
but it wouldn't. Yeah, where I'm saying, like, it could be a trait where, like, literally, if you're parrying something with a power parry, like, during the parry portion, you'll just gain 2 power instead of 1. So it's like a conditional thing, but that's still, like, super niche and would make parries be a lot stronger.
Alright. Next up, also from Lightpaw, Condition Intensify. This move trait cannot be applied alongside any other conditions or power traits. This pushes all negative conditions the target is suffering by 1 tier. I
don't
think
like
no.
it
Just
or
no.
moves, but something like that for magic that instead of all pushes a trait up by 1 tier would be interesting.
Yeah, but definitely not as this would just be handing a gun to condition builds.
Yeah, which they don't need a gun.
They don't need a gun; they already have the gun. This would just be giving them a bigger, better gun.
This would be placing the shotgun with a bazooka. We don't need to do that. It'd be funny, but
Give that bitch a cannon. Bitches love cannons.
I could see an argument for something like that exists in Magic, where the whole purpose of the world is where it is to increase a condition they already have by 1 stage.
Yeah, that would definitely make sense. But
I
definitely not as a move trait.
I still don't like that, though, because, like, yeah, you have to have all of the conditions as words to do it, but I would prefer a stick with that, where you have to use the condition to make it worse.
That's fair. I mean, plus, like, with Magic, if you want to be trying stuff like that, it's probably for the best if you use stuff like repeat or whatever to try and get repeat afflictions of it. which is an expensive ass word, but you know,
Yes, it is very expensive.
it's almost like it's what, like 15 motes.
Something like that, I don't remember. But it's fancy fresh. Cast and forget, man. Cast and forget.
Yeah, it's great. It's almost like that's why it's expensive. But so yeah, probably a no on intensify.
Lizard.
Lizard.
I also don't want it being something that you can apply in advance in order to like worsen the next condition you apply, because then you can get tier 3 intensity 3 conditions and no crit normally,
Yeah, no.
which is that would be very bad.
That does not sound very fun, unless you're the one doing the conditioning.
Alright, next up, from Lightpaw. SR for throwing off conditions decays by 1 per turn unless it is refreshed. I'm not against that immediately.
Yeah, I'm not against it immediately. I guess thinking about it in terms of like negatives first. Start of turn bloat potentially, like people will forget about this. Where it'll be additional stuff to keep track of at the beginning of your turn, and people already struggle with that.
Maybe instead of just per turn, we make it per cleanse attempt. Like, just put in a note on cleanse. Yeah, put in a note in cleanse that it reduces it. Even if it fails to cleanse, it at least reduces the SR.
That way, it also doesn't. You can't just like wait it out. You do need to try.
Yeah, I think that feels better.
To note, does this also mean that your dots will lower by 1? No, because let's not have it work on dot. That'd be messy.
No, that'd be messy. But it would help with those situations where somebody is getting eaten by a really high SR.
Yeah, because like for instance on Riv, like I just made it so he has a restrain move that has an insanely high SR for our thing, and he can. Yeah, it takes a lot of exhaustion to use it, but he can trivialize things if he gets that off.
And I think that's a player feel good.
Yeah.
I think that'll be a popular one.
And it helps bring status builds down a notch slightly. It keeps them a little bit more active instead of turn, burn, and sit.
Especially because, if they really want to, they can try and spend their entire turn cleansing. And they have the stuff for it.
Cook and book. For those that know.
So yeah, definitely per cleanse attempted. That's pretty good.
Yeah, added that to the notes.
Oh, and Lightpaw's not here for the one that we said yes to.
That's pretty funny.
Lol. Think we should just not tell him?
It'd be pretty funny.
I mean, I tagged him on all of the all of the discussed suggestions.
Oh, true.
All right, next up from the Squeaker. Magic Cure Disease and Poison Burn variant can reduce intensity of disease and poison to 0. Maybe treat like regenerate. Worried about no current mechanical way to treat these conditions. I would say...
Scroll down to blood.
What was that?
I said I'm just gonna scroll down to blood real quick. The blood school, so I can look at the spell. The one that they're trying to fork off of, just so that way we know what they're talking about. Yeah. So, cure, expend. Cost is X times 6 motes. Restore up to X attribute damage caused by disease. Target auto passes the next X saves to resist poison. That's the expend version. The burn version changes to restore up to X times 2 attribute damage caused by disease. Reduce a disease's intensity by 1 to a minimum of 1. Target auto passes the next X times 2 saves to resist poison. Reduce a poison's intensity by 1 to a minimum of 1. So he's talking about making a fork or variant that is stronger in that it doesn't have the minimum of 1 part, but costs more.
I think that I would rather leave them as unable to just be magicked away.
Especially because magic, you can kind so long as you have the magic available and you keep enough to keep casting cure, you can stave off the disease and poison basically indefinitely. Like, it doesn't get rid of the problem, but you could stave off death from it. But with poison, like, for instance, you wouldn't get the, it'd still turn off things like your rest healing, and all of the secondary effects would still be there, but you won't die from it. And magic having a don't die from disease or poison option is pretty good. What do you think?
Yeah, I think keep things as they are right now. With that.
I'm kind of ambivalent. We don't really have the rules written out right now, but I don't think magic is the right way to go. I would rather it stay in a medic's hand. Keep medicine as something fairly viable in the group dynamic.
Yeah. But also, I think it fits magic pretty well to have it be a like, you can stave it off almost indefinitely with this, but it doesn't mean that you're just magicking away the problem. Which I like. I think that works better.
Like buying time.
Yeah, like with this, you will, if you know where a medic is, you can make it to that medic before the poison or disease itself kills you. If other things get to you, that is a different thing.
I get you.
We might want to consider finalizing the rules on, like, diseases and poisons and stuff like that first, then introduce that, because then it might be easier to look at imbalance, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because, well, the idea might be sound, we need to kind of formalize that.
So basically, put a pin in it for until we have actual base rules for healing the poison and disease.
Mostly on that front, I am intending for that. Like, diseases and poisons are more of a narrative thing for storytellers to make use of, rather than something that can just willy-nilly be applied. Like, for example, you know, when the kobold drinks water in the swamp, there's a good chance of getting a disease from that will need to be properly treated. And diseases and poisons can vary so much that I don't think we can really put good mechanics to them, aside from what we've already got, where they do damage to attributes. Granted, said kobold rolled insanely well on their integrity to resist it, but
that doesn't mean the water wasn't diseased. It just meant that they didn't care.
well, yeah, they didn't catch it, but I'm waiting for the others to try drinking it.
Nice.
Because, you know, the first one... The first one said, oh yeah, this is perfectly fine. No adverse reaction. Oh, okay. So then the others go drink it.
Poisons the entire party. Nice.
Well, Vari, you can do things about an ailment. Like we were just saying, there's already a spell to alleviate the effects of it. But as for actually fixing the problem, that would be up to your storyteller to decide, and how, like, if you need medicine, if you just need to wait it out, whatever the case may be, like, it depends on the disease or poison.
Yeah, basically we're saying we want those to stay more narrative in terms of how to fix them and what they do.
Yeah.
Like, as the extra effects. But we do have a hard-coded spell that basically removes your chance of dying to the damn things.
You know, you catch, you get food poisoning, it's going to have a drastically different effect on you than, say, COVID, you know? And treating it is drastically different, and how long it would last, and whether you can even just ignore it and wait it out. It's, you know... Both are diseases, but we cannot codify them. But either way, you do have the you do have the spell to at least alleviate it until you do figure out how to fix it.
Well, we're not actually codifying what COVID would do. It's more about just the point.
Yeah, the point is that we cannot codify them because they are all so different.
Also, we're not doing the Fallout special system.
That too. Kieran, we got our own system that we're developing here. Have been for 3 years now. Well, 3.5 years now.
But yeah, so... No for the magic cure-all. No panacea word. Panacea.
That spell in Pathfinder actually irritates me as nasty.
Yeah. No, it's fucking awful.
We're hungover. Oh, well, plentiful panacea. Gotcha. The no consequences spell.
The no consequences spell, yeah. Also the spell for I'd never have to pay attention to anything that I eat or drink, except for, like, very specific combinations that don't get fixed by panacea. I think one of my favorites was combining Witchbane into a poison, so that way it turned off all magical abilities, so they couldn't Panacea it away because they couldn't cast Panacea. Lolamau. Panacea's bullshit. Anyway. Next up is another magic word idea. Remove Bane, anti-curse. Where its expend allows Bane or cursed items penalty to not affect you for X minutes. X minus tier of items rounds. Permanents may not be used with this word. Burn allows you to attempt to remove the Bane or curse on an item with an immediate challenge, where upon success the Bane or curse is removed, but on fail it could get worse. Tier of word needs to be equal to or more than the item with the casting higher than the tiered item, reducing the difficulty of immediate challenge. This sounds like the dispel magic thing for trying to curse break with extra steps.
Isn't that exactly what... Sorry, yawn.
Do we already have that?
I thought... Go ahead. Jaws an option.
Dispel. You could use the dispel word in order to dispel a magical bane on a on like an item. Like if an item has a thing, you can try and dispel the curse on it if it has a permanent curse. So like we already have something that technically does this, just less. It's way more expensive. And it's less specified. Like, because you could also use it to dispel someone's like positive enchantment. It just dispels, gone. It's not a. There's no thing for specifically positive or specifically negative effects.
So the current option is broad, and they're trying to make an option that's more narrow in scope.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'd prefer to stick to more broad stuff anyways.
Makes it more... You're having to strategize when you use it.
Besides, you can always narrow your broad effects in order for like cost reductions or the like. If the storyteller agrees. Because like, you know, if you go, hey, I want dispel, but it's only like dispel curse. Can I get that like half off? You know, like there's things you can.
Yeah. Yep.
So I think
I
broader
talked to you about a character like that at one point.
Broader always wins because you can be more creative with broad.
You can always narrow things. It's harder to expand them without it being being icky.
Yeah.
Because if you ask me, hey, can I expand out this already good thing? I'm gonna be a lot more wary than, hey, there's this really good thing, but can I narrow it?
Because when it's like, when you want to expand an already good thing, it's like, well, then we got to talk about cost.
Yeah, then you have to figure out what the exact constraints of that are and how far you should allow it to go. And if it's already broad, then, you know, if you go, hey, I want it to work on half the things, you could just think about it for half a second and just go, yeah, all right, cool, half cost.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it works pretty well just doing stuff like that. So I'd rather stick to that.
All right.
So there was some discussion stuff that happened. Next is intrinsic feat breathless.
Let me delete these to get down there. Alright, from Demon. Yes, breathless. Requires ST approval and water breathing. You no longer require air to function or have not required air.
Why would that require water breathing first?
Because it'd be a direct upgrade to water breathing.
Hmm.
Because, you know, if you have this, then why would you ever need water breathing?
Hmm.
So it would either need to replace or be an upgrade from water breathing. Which, actually, let me double check if water breathing is a 15, or 20, or 25. Does it have a variable cost?
Pretty
I don't
sure
think
it's
so.
the standard.
Yeah, because if you have water breathing, you can go underwater. So a feat like this would be good for like space games
Hmm.
or for specific
Yeah,
types.
it's just a normal standard feat for water breathing.
Or you can go into a vacuum chamber.
Like, yeah, I could definitely see games where it would be very useful to have for the breathless. The only thing would be if we'd want it to exist on like a separate thing, an upgrade or replace water breathing.
I would say separate. Definitely not replace water breathing. Because
Not upgrade either.
no, not an upgrade. It doesn't make sense to me for it to be an upgrade. What I would say is a separate thing that costs more.
Higher cost feat.
What was that?
A higher cost feat?
Yeah.
All right,
Like I
so
said,
probably
up
like
20.
35, because
40.
that's our usual.
I'd say 35 works.
Because that's what we have like companion at, for example.
Yeah. Still, of course, requiring a ST approval, but...
Oh yeah.
So yeah, breathless, you just do not need to breathe.
Breathless. What is breathing?
What is breathing? Oxygen don't hurt me.
Don't hurt me no more.
I mean, remember, oxygen is slowly killing you.
Yep.
100% of people that have died have breathed oxygen.
No, it does actually slowly damage your cells and poison you.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
But also, 100% of people that have died have,
Breathe oxygen.
Yeah, but unfortunately, 100% of people who didn't breathe oxygen also died.
Yeah. It's one
So
of those
double-edged
things
sword.
where you need it, but it's also killing you.
Ah, so what boomers think women are, got it.
Wow. Shots fired. It's funny because I don't remember how many millions of years, but most life on the planet could not tolerate being in or exposed to oxygen for a damn long time.
Almost like it was very poisonous.
Yeah, it's like it slowly killed you.
Faction idea, the Colored Lords. This would encompass entities like the King in Copper and Queen in Red.
Oh dear.
I don't want to have to fight the Spectrum.
The Alphabet Mafia.
Look, I'm not gonna fight the Alphabet Mafia mixed with the fucking Power Rangers.
The cosplay convention Alphabet Mafia.
I mean, it's still a fun idea for the overall lore of the the system, but not really something we'll be adding now.
Yeah,
But
that's
I'll
not really like
leave
a
it there.
lore codification. Yeah.
I'll leave it there for later, alongside all the species suggestions.
I just realized, no, fuck, the game that I was talking about in the lore, there are positions of power specifically related to color titles. I can't escape it. Anyway. Next up, armor traits impact, hack, and impale resistance. I am against arms racing the offensive bypass resistance and defense by resistance again to the thing that bypasses resistance.
Those are words you just said, but I agree.
They're trying to stop people from outbuying the buyer.
Look, I'm not going to get into an offensive defensive bidding war constantly.
Real
Yeah,
quick.
and that's just gonna incur. Go ahead.
Ido, go ahead. Also, you are adorable with your little hammer.
I know, right?
Uh-huh.
Alright, so no to
Okay.
that.
Fuck.
No.
Yeah, no, because that just
No
encourages STs and or players to just make sure to always have it. I don't like.
And then that one player that doesn't just gets completely obliterated.
Yep.
10 minutes, Ido, that's fine. Just, go ahead. Bonk him. Good boy, Ido. Good Fluffy with your hammer. Good job.
Bonk.
Hi, Mala.
You squished that silly moth.
Careful, he likes it.
Also, Ido, I need you to draw yourself with the hammer in your mouth. I will make it an emote. So, next up from Blue Bat, we have Resurgence, Necromancy. Looks like a spell suggestion. Expend version. Costs X times 12 motes for X number of turns. You are knocked into, or if you are knocked into an unconscious state or into death, you will resurge a turn after with X divided by 2 remaining temp HP. A repose rating higher than X will prevent the resurgence. For burn, it looks like you come back with more HP, and it stops you from being knocked unconscious or into death.
So it's a pre-raise.
Well, the expend is more of a, you just get back up again. The second one keeps you from being dead in the first place. I'm not really against it.
Yeah, I'm not like against it. The thing to note though is that, like, technically speaking, there are ways to already facsimile this with spells, but nothing that works in the fight because, like, for instance, Resurrect doesn't work in a fight. It needs to be a part of a long rest.
We think it's appropriately expensive enough for such a thing?
It'd be the most expensive necromancy spell. That says anything. True. It will be... It'll be interesting. Also, it doesn't prevent the unconscious or death, per se. It's more like it affects you, and then a turn after it gets undone. So you'd still take injuries. You'd still lose all of your buffs.
Well, the burn version will stop it.
It
Oh
does
wait, no,
not
I
say
do
that.
see a turn after. Never mind.
Yeah. So either way, you're still losing your buffs. You're still taking your injury. What else would this do?
So
I think it's mostly
basically,
that.
so basically, it's like using the revive in last week's Wild Traditions.
More or less.
Yeah. That's a decent way of putting it.
Yeah, I'm fine with it.
Except
It seems to have
instead
its
of it-
own independent merit enough.
Yeah. The only thing that I am considering would be the X divided by 2 remaining temp HP.
I think that means that
And then
that's how
X remaining
much
temp
HP you have as temp HP. Like restorative HP, I would assume.
Yeah, well,
I
the
would
part that I'm concerned about is just the fact that that is basically nothing.
Well, yeah, but you're... To be fair, I would say that this is going over your... Yeah, you know, from 0 is what I would say on
Okay,
this.
okay.
That's how I was interpreting it, but, you know...
Yeah, because I was thinking the damage would still be on you, and it'd be like, okay, but... Because it doesn't say the damage falls off of you.
Hello, Bakesh. I would say that you have restored the HP, you know, as it says here, but it's above 0, so you still, you know, you go to 0, then get that.
So it lets you remove damage until you are at 0 HP, and then you gain restorative equal to that amount.
That's what I'd say.
Does it still work if you're at 3 injury, at tier 3 injury, for example?
I'd say it still works even then, but, you know, it's restorative, so it'll only go to your max HP, whatever it may be.
Yeah, I just wanted to check.
That's why I specified restorative as opposed to preventative.
Yeah. All right.
Whose suggestion was
The repose rating higher than X on the burn would have to be X times 2.
Yeah.
Since that's how those effects work.
Sounds good. Go ahead and put it in the magic dock. And Blue Bat suggested it.
Yeah, I just looked.
Yeah, so if I go in and I put this and then tap over, hide outline, additional approval, scrolling down. Heading 3, fly. I'll reword it in a second. But removed and at 0 CHP. temp HP. I'm right restorative HP. All right. Cool. I'm gonna need to clean that up, but it is in there.
Neat.
Alright, so you're good for me to delete it?
Yep. First thing I did was copy paste the whole thing.
Alright. So next from Blue Bat, Enlighten Mentalism. Expend costs X times 3 modes, grants a target a specialty in a knowledge skill for X divided by 2 hours. You must already have the specialty. Burn X times 5 modes, grants a target a mastered specialty in the knowledge skill for X times 2 hours. You must already have the mastered specialty.
So
I
this
don't
is
mind-
specialty share.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't mind the concept, but I think I would want to change it to.
I am extremely wary about this concept for one reason.
Mm-hmm.
Permanence.
Yeah, we can remove the permanence. I don't like the fact that it requires you to have. This would be like good in 1 or 2 builds.
Well, I mean, it'd be useful for, like, a skill monkey ally to have, where, like, they're all about specialties. Like, if Riv picked this up, for example. If Riv picked this up, goated. It'd be amazing. But I think the big problem is the possibility of people using the permanence word with this in order to give out permanent mastered specialties and knowledge skills to all of their allies.
I'm okay with putting in a note that says it cannot be combined with permanence.
All right.
Did we
But-
want to go ahead?
But otherwise, I'm neutral on this one, personally.
How are we feeling about the knowledge skill section restriction?
I'd say we could do away with that.
Because
if
it
we're-
does require that you have a specialty to share.
Yeah, and I'd rather allow them to, share whatever they've got with this.
Alright. So, removing the knowledge skill, adding in a clause that say this spell cannot be permanenced. There are definitely ways in which this is going to be very helpful as, like, a situational thing. I'm a little bit wary, mostly based off of the fact that this is going to turn into guidance spam.
Yeah, did we want to make it minutes instead of hours, by the way? Hours.
Oh yeah, it's definitely not going to be ours, but, like,
Okay.
I'm worried about this becoming guidance spam.
I mean, it pretty much will. Because this would be the skill monkey coming in and being like, okay, I need your assistance. Pop, you are now my guidance.
Well, it requires that you already have it. So it'd be a skill monkey character going around picking up as many specialties as possible, casting Enlighten on people as many times as possible whenever a relevant skill check comes up.
Yeah.
Good
Which
night,
I
Havoc.
don't like the sound of that. That part is icky.
Perhaps we do it where you transfer it to them. So you lose access to it and they gain it. And otherwise,
That I like better.
And like otherwise, we already have like you can already assist on almost every role with your own specialties, anyways.
Yeah. This would definitely be a good way to third party. Like, let's say you have a really good specialty for something, but someone else is more skilled in general for the assist.
Yeah. I think I'm good with the transfer as opposed to just give a copy.
Because if it copies, then, you know, it turns into guidance span. No matter what, invariably. Heading 3, apply. In a skill for X minutes. You must already have the specialty. This effect cannot be permanent.
And we're ending off right before Gibbon's vor suggestion.
Nice.
Guess you'd have to wait till next time.
Sorry, you must know I have the specialty.
I mean, I'm not against such things existing, but I'm going to try and use them as a damn player.
This transfers the specialty.
We are not discussing that right now.
All right, cool.
You good for me to delete it?
Yep.
Alright. On to other stuff. I think we should really go through the trait points.
Yep, that's fair. That was going to be one of the things I suggested.
If I can... There it is. Alright,
other
gonna
monitor.
turn this over to you there, Tal.
Yep. Just give me a second while I bring this up. And move this over here.
Right, I need to find it. Of course, Sheets also ruined its search function, so it doesn't do the thing anymore.
Yeah, no, it's fucking awful. Travesty.
So it's not easy for me to just start typing something and have it pop up right away anymore, which is annoying.
Yep. So for this, I mostly worked off of a multiply by 10, and then I moved it to, like, the closest 5 that I thought that it deserved to be in. And then I wanted, with, you know, like, people here to... so that way we can granularly decide if it should be up or down or adjust it slightly to be in its proper place, as opposed to generalizations. If it had a EXP effect, I usually would copy over the EXP cost. If there was a similar EXP effect.
By the way, the things that I crossed out there, go ahead and add them or adjust them as well. The reason I crossed those out was so that way I could go through the know where I was on things, and
right, cool.
Then I never got around to finishing that. So,
all right.
I personally would definitely like to see more variety on this. 'Cause
Yeah.
currently it's basically the same, just with an extra 0.
Well, yeah. A lot of them got changed to have a 5 at the end. Like, probably about, like, half of them did. But I definitely wanted to go more towards granularity with these. It was just, moving it to be about where I thought that they should be, and then double checking with both of you if we want to adjust it up or down slightly. Which is why it's more of a review than anything.
Fair enough. Well, let's go ahead and get started then.
Yep. So first off is durable and fragile, as they're opposites. I didn't really think about these too much because I was like, oh, they're crossed off. So, as this does affect durability, I could definitely see this being more of a 15 effect, especially considering that on weapons I had it as a 1, but on armor I had it as a 2 due to the impact difference. So I think moving this towards 15 would be pretty reasonable. As a literal split the difference. I could also see this going up to 18, because this is a good effect.
It's a good
So I'm
effect,
thinking like 15
yes.
to 18.
It's definitely a better effect for the likes of, for armor than it is weapons.
Yeah, but it does also help mitigate one of the biggest weaknesses of weapons. Which is that the weapons can break.
Which we also don't really have that coming up very often.
No, but that's because not a lot of people specifically do their actions to fuck with an opponent's weapon.
Yeah.
Which they really
underused in every
should.
system.
I think that what Yo-Yo did to the man's gun could really act as an example for that. Of you can just try and fuck with an opponent's weapon if they're a weapon user. You don't have to stand there like, honorable knight or samurai just letting them have their weapon.
What were you saying there,
But
Era?
I was saying that getting rid of weapons is an underutilized thing in most tabletop games. Sunder and all that. People just don't use them for some reason. They're present.
usually because Sunder is nerfed into being completely useless in most game systems.
True. At a certain point, yeah. But that's just about any of those things, so.
Yeah. So I guess I'm leaning more towards a 15. Because this is a common effect now, which means the cost is going to be the same across everything.
I'm fine with 15.
Because this is going to be for weapons, armor, accessories, everything.
Well, on a tier 1 item, it's going to, or on a light item, it'll add 1 per, up to a maximum of 7.
Yeah.
Taking that into consideration, I'm feeling
if it helps,
12.
12?
I can, it is valuable, so I'm good with it being raised a little bit, but I definitely think 15 is too much.
Alright. Okay.
But again,
I
that's
must be off to bed now. I'll see y'all later.
Merle.
Yep.
Good night, Meryl.
Good
Oh, Meryl
night.
was between the two doctors this entire time.
Yeah,
Yep, yes.
I've envied my position between the two 12-foot tall dragon protogens.
There's sense.
Whatever.
I don't think he's going to care or complain either way.
Correct. But good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Pat.
You're precious.
Merle is very cute. It's true. I guess I'm fine with the 12.
Am I seeing a different sheet? Oh, there it goes. Okay.
Oh, you. Yeah.
It
Was your
wasn't.
sheets lagging?
Yes, apparently.
What the fuck did you do?
Because they were all at single digits until I clicked away and clicked back in, and then now I'm seeing new numbers, and I was sitting here very confused. This entire
You also might be
damn
looking
time.
at armor traits.
No, I'm in weapon traits. I've been right here.
Okay. That is certainly a time.
Google, what have you done?
Alright, so moving on to the repair traits. I'm fine keeping this where it's at or even kicking it down to like an 8. Because those don't help you in the moment, they just help the recovery. These are effectively utility and non-combat. It does have a knock-on effect of your stuff being in better repair for combat. But I could definitely see this being more of like an 8.
Yeah. Well, it would be... It would be either
Oh, yeah, I mean...
6 or 9.
9 or 6, yeah. I always forget that we can't mix and match the 5s and 3s.
Technically we could, but we decided not to.
Yeah.
I see. Somebody has been cheesed. Ah, I see. It was Era.
Have I been cheesed?
You've been cheesed.
You've been cheesed.
Who cheesed me? Vari cheesed me. I got cheesed by Vari?
Yes. Yes,
And
you
they
are.
paid money for that.
Well,
I say for the repair, let's make it 6.
6, alright. It is kind of a knock-on effect. It's a utility effect. Go on.
I think I like sturdy and flimsy where they're at. With the 10.
I was about to say, yeah, sturdy and flimsy can stay where they're at. Strike capable is weird because I think this depends a lot on if we want to keep strike working how it does with weapons and the contribution quality between them, or if we want to revamp that as a part of an overhaul.
I'm feeling like we probably should just do away with that.
Like, as a mechanic?
Yeah. It's something that it makes some sense, especially depending on the weapon, but also it's
Maybe move it more towards a might thing than a base weapon quality thing?
maybe we can have something in might that allows you to build for that. But as far as base, yeah, I think removing it would be a good idea.
Alright, let me just...
And
Go ahead and read that out.
also, speaking of strike, I think we should go ahead and... I don't remember if we actually agreed on this or not, but...
Moving the 4 power to strike.
Yeah, moving the 4 power to the strike. That they can decide where they want it split from there. 2 and 2, 1 and 3, all 4 and 1, whatever they want to do. I think we should do that for character creation.
That would definitely encourage people to use the damn thing.
And it also makes it... Because we get a lot of questions about... what if I want this move to do this instead? What if I want that instead? What if I want this instead? How does the XP work with this? We get a lot of those questions.
Yeah.
And at least this way it's like, nope, it's just strike. Strike is strike.
Just strike. Strike is strike, yeah. Math is math. I read it out integrated as well, but I guess we might want to just remove the can contribute to strikes part and cheapen the cost.
Yeah, we'll come back to that in just a moment. You guys good with that change to the character creation process?
Retroactively, it's going to be a little bit rough for people to apply.
Oh, yeah, fuck.
Because
Retroactively, that's gonna suck.
Only slightly, because it's just 20 XP.
Well, yeah,
Which-
but it's also if, if people modify that move further.
Yeah.
What we can do on that
Like-
front is
yeah.
just, as devs, be like, alright, all of you get an extra 20 XP to make up for this.
As long as the STs are down with that.
Yeah, as long as the STs agree.
Well, it's all playtest, so things are going to change.
Well, yeah, but, I don't want to fuck them over. Not that this would really fuck them over, but,
No, it's something worth just making sure the STs are cool with, as long as they're all cool with it, which I don't see why they wouldn't be cool with it. But it's always better to ask than assume.
Fair enough. I'll check with the I'll check with Enja and Lightpaw.
Lightpaw. Since the
I
other two
assume-
STs are sitting right here.
Yeah, I
With
assume you both are on board. I'm on board.
yeah, I'm on board with it. I'm just
No,
also,
I don't have a problem giving players experience.
It's
yeah,
just
session
about
1,
more
you gave us an attribute point.
I did, because the first thing I did is I threw you up against a boss.
Yeah. To be fair, in the first 5-ish sessions, you're already supposed to be at attribute 10. So
And I also wanted to make sure Taya got a combat, a whole combat thing right away. So I made sure it was a boss. I made sure he had 2 turns, and I made sure he was something that you could defeat, but could absolutely fuck your shit.
yeah, then Zim got shot twice.
Exactly.
I was not planning to be the tank in that group.
You have armor.
You also kind of got the hero trope.
Yeah.
You also literally got in his way.
Yeah. But I still wasn't planning to be, the tank.
Nobody chooses the tank life, baby. The tank life chooses you.
Didn't Taya specifically choose it?
I don't think Taya's Taya's kind of tank-y, but they're just dwarf. Their whole plan is dwarf.
So tank by default.
At the
Diggy
very
diggy
least,
hole.
a bruiser.
Yeah.
At the
I
very
think
least,
more
a
of
bruiser.
but yeah.
Anyway. Integrated. We're gonna have to axe that can contribute to strikes part. But that does still leave it with, effectively can't be disarmed. light weapon only. Which it does turn off a way of dealing with weapons. So, 12?
Well,
Seems like a
sounds
12 to me. It does more than sturdy. Is my argument for 12.
It does different than sturdy.
Well, it doesn't do the +1 difficulty. It just says cannot be disarmed.
Yeah, we can go with 12.
There's
OP
a
or
different one
adorable?
that affects the disarm for +1 or -1 difficulty.
Yeah, we can go with that.
Okay.
On one hand, it's better. On the other hand, it's locked to light weapons only.
The integrated is now?
Well, integrated always was light weapons only.
Hmm.
It's just always been there. But that's because it could contribute to strikes as well. So do we want to kick up the thing to include medium weapons?
No, I think for integrated it should stay light.
All right.
Right. I'm thinking of something else. Never mind. Brain.
All right. Next up is concealable and conspicuous, which is... Both of these are kind of like, if you care about it, you care about it a lot, but if you don't, you don't.
Eight.
Well, we can't mix it, so probably between like a 6 and a 9.
I'm thinking 5.
5.
Because, yeah, it really...
Yeah, I guess because it's really, if you care about it, you care about it a lot. But outside of that, it doesn't do that much.
No, it's really good for the... We're not running any games where something like this is, like, very necessary, but...
It'll be
Star
right
Wars,
back.
it's mildly important, if for no other reason than if you make illegal modifications, you want to be able to hide your weapon. And,
Yeah.
Illegal modifications are pretty common in a Star Wars game, considering the Empire's laws.
Pretty much. But in other games, like in a lot of more fantasy-driven games, the whole leave your weapon at the door is a lot more common. So I think that's where it'll shine. In the current settings, I don't see it as up there.
Yeah. I mean, it'll also just matter for, like, if you're doing a rogue archetype, you want to be able to hide your shit on you.
Yeah.
You want to have your boot blade really badly.
Well,
But also, because it's so niche, it's also something where, like, for the negative version, you can kind of just throw on a lot of things and not care.
yeah,
It's like, okay, I wasn't planning on ever hiding this anyways.
yeah. But be right back. I mean, I was. Brain, why are you being stupid tonight? Being stupid, brain. You're on vacation, brain.
Alright, I am back.
Welcome back. Era is not back yet, but I am liable to keep talking.
For the negative version there, I think that one should be -3.
I like the symmetry, but okay.
Well, there's a lot of times where we've had that already, but like you were pointing out, like, it's basically a free negative, because you're either going to care about it or you're not, and if you don't, well, free negative.
Yeah.
So let's make it less.
Meanwhile, the next one is always gonna matter. And I think it's rightfully placed at a 15 for positive and negative. Which is accessible and inaccessible, which changes it to be free action to draw or sheath once per turn, or a standard action to draw or sheath.
I'm back, and I think I'm fine with 15.
Yeah, that's fine with me.
Yeah. Elegant and terrifying. I pegged both at being 15 because, you know, you can kind of just have it. So if you're focusing on making your weapon be more like that, then I don't know. At that point, you're there for you're there for, you know, the cosplay that you're trying to give off socially. So 15.
I don't
It's
know.
basically it's basically a specialty.
It is a specialty, but
You have to brandish it too, don't you?
You need to at least have it displayed and not hidden.
I think what we should do with this is have it be like that double-edged sword, where the storyteller can decide if it benefits the situation, or like the storyteller can decide, yeah, having an elegant weapon and you're in a ballroom setting kind of thing, that'll help. But if you have a terrifying weapon, that's going to be a penalty.
Alright, I know what to do. Oh, whoops.
And that way we can also lower the cost of it to make it more accessible. I don't think we should allow it to be purchased multiple times. I think it's just one and done.
One, okay. Alright, so if I do... There we go, plus minus symbol, let's go. I love plus minus symbol, it's so cool. In any case, I am fine knocking these greatly then if you can't purchase them multiple times.
Yeah, I think... I'm thinking 5 each.
Alright, I was leaning towards 6.
Yeah, I was thinking 5 or 6, so...
Acceptable ranges.
Acceptable range, woo! Quality and crude. I feel like those are 25ers.
Max EXP cap of a weapon 1 tier higher or lower. Yes, I agree.
Those
All
are
right.
definitely 25ers. Distinct, indistinct. I wasn't quite sure what to do about these because these are confusing to begin with, but they also make sense. In that they are both positive and negative. Like they both have positives with it, so there's no like real negative attached to either of them as much. Because if you make it so that way you have a distinct weapon, it's easier. Like if it ever gets stolen, it's a lot easier to find. If you ever lose it, it's a lot easier to find the right one. But if it's indistinct, it also means that it's harder for people to know what your weapon does on sight. So it's like both of these are kind of niche, so I'm thinking more like 6s.
I'm thinking maybe make them just a free thing that they can choose to put on.
Yeah, 'cause the other downside with indistinct is it's harder to get repaired. A distinct thing is it's harder to get repaired. Indistinct, anybody can fix it.
Well, that's where we've got common and exotic repair for that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This doesn't modify the roll. This modifies figuring out what the fuck it does.
Hmm.
So, like, for instance, if you have indistinct and you're fighting someone, they would have +1 difficulty on appraise or lore checks to try and recognize the weapon and see what it does. However, you know, if you ever lose that bitch, it's gonna be real hard to find it, because it's basically signifying that this thing looks like a very common weapon.
Yeah.
This weapon was mass-produced. Congrats.
Yeah. Or was made to look like a mass-produced weapon.
I say it's just a free thing. If they want to put it on, cool. If they don't, also up to them. Like, or they can just.
I mean, I was fine
forego
leaving it at
altogether.
3. I was fine leaving it at 3, but okay. I'll change them to dashes.
I'd do 0, just to signify that it's available. Yeah, it's more of a flavor than function, exactly, Oki.
Yeah. It does have an actual mechanical effect, but yeah, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. Okay.
But it's not enough of one to warrant the relatively limited intrinsic points, in my opinion.
Yep. And as for bulky and ergonomic, I know right now they're kind of mostly used as who cares, because we aren't tracking bulk. So me changing it sort of depended a lot on how soon we were going to actually implement updated bulk rules.
We want to just read it out for now and come back to it.
I'm fine reading it out for now.
I'm still... The bulk rules that were come up with just seem so complicated.
They're not.
Like,
You have to have a calculator for it.
No, the problem
there's-
is that I made it so you don't need a calculator. But that's beside the point. Go ahead, Tal.
Anyway, I'm fine just reading it out until we actually have something workable there, because I know a lot of people are kind of just using bulky as a free thing that they don't care about. Reach. Reach should stay where it's at, because that's the cost of reach.
Yep.
Cooldown. I stuck that at a -25, because its weapon cannot be used again for a number of rounds equal to the cooldown rating. Like, you just straight up can't use it even if you want to or need to.
My greatsword is so heavy. I swing it once, and then I take 3 minutes to raise it back up again.
Yeah, but you know, it's an impactful negative that people can throw on their weapon.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
I suppose with this, we should probably cover something else real fast.
Yeah.
I'm assuming we're doing the same thing that we did before, or with moves where you can only have up to half of what you're spending on it in negatives. But this is more to confirm that that is how you guys are imagining this works.
Yeah. I mean, I'm still in favor of it just being half of max to make it simpler, especially because the intrinsic thing affects how many successes you need to create it. So if we just have it be half of max, with a floor of 0, obviously, so you can't get negative time to create. It would let people stack on negatives so that way they're not using intrinsic points, obviously benefiting from up to half of their max, in order to mass produce something really quickly that is not using its actual, like, full capacity as a weapon.
Lava.
Otherwise known as, I still dislike making it work off of half of spent rather than half of max.
Lava, why are you exploding? But yeah, what do we have that at for moves?
Moves, it's half of your spent EXP. So
No,
if
no,
you
I mean
spent...
cooldown.
Oh, cooldown? I think it works slightly differently on moves. Because I know moves you're able to do positive or negative, and we haven't updated this since we did that. Trade explanation. Scroll up. Warm-up cooldown is 15. But it also just does standard action consumption as opposed to just not letting you do it. But that's also better and worse. I'm going to start by making it match. Because cooldown makes it so that way you just can't use it for the turns on weapons when we made it for weapons. Like, before we even made the thing on moves, actually, I think.
I'd say let's unify it with moves.
Alright. In that case, let me grab the description on moves. Even though the moon version is still really bad. Not positive. That's fine. It's kind of supposed to be a trade-off. What the hell is it? There it is.
I take 1 minute to raise my sword, and then another minute to raise it again.
I mean, every anime ever?
I also scream at you for the entirety of that minute.
Oh, you forgot. I also have named this attack and must let you know what it is during this particular screams. That way, you know exactly what's coming. If you've
And
seen it
that
at
is
least
the
once.
name.
Alright, then we can get rid of prepare because that's the warm-up / cooldown.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am, I'm very much leaning towards unifying things more between all of the different, modules. While it's neat to have, things be differently named. Like, what is the word for dot is lingering in Magic?
Yep.
Yeah.
It gets confusing trying to keep track of all of that and be like, oh, okay, so it's just dot. It's docked with a different name tag.
That's fair. We were kind of doing that kind of stuff because it was supposed to differentiate them.
Yeah.
Like, and make them more unique in flavor.
There's... I guess that is something that we should decide from a design standpoint if we want it to be... If we want to do that. Because... On the one hand... On the one hand, having it all unified means it's easier to remember, okay, so it's just dot. On the other hand, yeah, it does have that potential of, okay, so are you using the magic word for dot, or is it part of your move? And also confusion with, okay, are you using magic dot, or move dot, or weapon dot? But also, I feel like that would be a better way to go about it. To have it all...
I guess it's a big discussion if we want to focus more on the flavor of it or the legibility.
Yeah, because linger...
And interpretability.
Because linger is the word, but the application is dot. So after somebody uses the word linger, they should be saying, I apply X amount of dots.
Nah, we'll leave it as is then. We'll allow it to be some... We'll let them have some distinctiveness.
Yeah.
We can always revisit it because that sounds like a longer conversation. Because at that point, I think we have to hit a lot more than.
We'd have to do a lot. We'd have to do a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, lethal and non-lethal 5s. That's what they cost on moves.
Yeah.
Really minor negative just removes your choice on something minor. Reliable and risky. I kind of pegged more as an 18er. Which is weapon doesn't take damage from botches and will break if botches rolled using it.
So currently they do take damage from botches, yes?
Yes.
If you botch using a weapon, it will normally damage the weapon, yes.
I do not know what that means, Oki.
What is Oki saying?
You could go for the worst of 3 worlds, natural language.
Yeah, I get that.
I don't know what that means.
Oh, D&D 5e's way of describing their rule set. You. 5e's awful at describing their rule set.
Yes, they are.
Like, notoriously bad. Holy shit. They call it natural language. What's natural about it? That it's effectively caveman language and just as indecipherable? Like, holy shit. Awful. Anyways, reliable and risky is not about the user taking any sort of damage. It's just from the weapon, be it not ever breaking due to botches or instantly breaking due to botches.
I'm okay with an 18 on that.
Impactful negative, impactful positive. Impactful in the way of, oh hey, you literally never need to worry about this weapon even getting damaged, much less breaking off of botches. So it's having the security of, hey, this thing literally can't botch break on me. Sundering. That one was a 10 for me, because it's basically the offensive version of the sturdy, flimsy side. Or instead of it being about the defenses of the weapon, it's about how good the weapon itself is at doing it, which I view as being equal in cost.
I'm good with that.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's fine.
I'm also probably going to end up reorganizing this list a bit, but that's a different thing. Next up is custom and unwieldy, which is the disarm versions of the sturdy and flimsy, where it's +1 or -1 difficulty when it comes to disarming the weapon, which I also view as tens. Next up is an interesting one, which is throwable. Go ahead.
Oh, I was just saying, yeah.
Next up is throwable, which is supposed to be the you want to be able to throw this melee weapon without any sort of penalty. Where if you choose to throw it, it has short range, but it can't be increased. So you can't have a medium range throwing weapon. It's all short range. I was conflicted about what to categorize this as in terms of cost, because it kind of lets you choose between a weapon being melee or ranged at will, but also it's only ever short range.
And you throw your weapon away.
And you throw your weapon. So this is something that, you put on a throwing knife or whatever. So on one hand, it gives it range, and gives you versatility with it, except on just what category it is. On the other hand, you're throwing your weapon. So
night,
I kind of wanted to put this out of 5. I kind of want to keep this out of 10 because that's what short range costs. What are we thinking?
I'm thinking 5.
I'd be fine with 5. It's that weird area where you could almost give it the same effect, or basically throw reach experience at it, but it's not. That wouldn't fit either. So
yeah, which is why I'm like. Good.
I am thinking that for these intrinsic points, something that they also have to spend XP on, I think we should do half of what that XP cost is. So throw, reach, the ranges, I think all of those should be half cost of intrinsic because they also have to spend XP on it.
Yeah. Also, okay. The question was, say you wanted to make throwing knives a consistent part of your kit. Would you need to pay full tax for every knife, or is there a way to make a stack of them? So with that, you don't actually need to... This is not XP that we're going over. This is the intrinsic points. So this is what intrinsically is a part of the weapon. The actual attack you make with the weapon will carry over between versions of that same weapon class as long as they're the storyteller allows it. But the intrinsics will change based on what weapon you have equipped. So if you have a stack of 20 throwing knives that all have the same intrinsic traits, then your throwing knife attack won't change until you pick up a different knife and try and throw it. And the only part that would change with that would be the intrinsic traits of the knife. The actual things that you buy with XP, you'll just keep. So basically, when you make a move, when you make an attack with a weapon, it's more of a technique thing than it is a I must put my XP into this one sole weapon. And you being able to use that is contingent on you having a weapon that the technique would be valid on. It's not like a proper noun technique thing, because that's a different thing, but just as like a English language explanation.
So you can use
e.g.,
the same
you don't have to buy the ranged ones.
You can use the same ability to throw all of your knives.
Alright, so keep throwable at 5 because it's limited as hell.
And you
And-
make one of the biggest mistakes in fighting.
I also say, like I said before, reach also I think should be 5.
So scrolling up, change that to a 5. Alright. So, scrolling. Unconventional and conventional. Which is, I guess now I think about a little bit different checks for distinct and indistinct, which would stack with them. Honestly, I'm pretty fine just nuking these into the 3 to 5 range.
Or... Well, I suppose for specifically identifying their traits, yeah, let's make it 3.
Yeah, it's more specific and less thematic. So, like, I was just gonna nuke those into a 3.
Also, why is
next
there a
up.
random desk chair in the duck thing?
For fishing.
For fishing.
Yeah, it's for fishing.
Yeah, redneck fishing, man. You just put in whatever chair you don't want anymore in the water and you drop it.
Unironically, I've seen people do that. They just get an old shitty chair they don't care about. They just use it for fishing.
Fair enough, I suppose. Sorry, small ADHD a moment aside.
It's fine. Just to note, I once did that with the couch.
So skill requirement, I kind of fluctuated between a 3 and a 5 mentally for that one. Because on one hand, if you have it, you have it. On the other hand, it does make it so that way, you know, if other people try picking this up for better or worse, they can't fucking use it if they don't meet the requirement.
I would say only -3 then.
Yeah.
Because the fact that it makes it basically the fact that it makes it impossible for somebody else to use it,
If they don't meet the skill requirement.
Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, I'm debating making it just a 0, because it doesn't feel like a positive or negative. More just a flavor thing altogether. We'll leave it at the -3.
Do keep in mind that you're able to pick up weapons from other people as well when you defeat them, and they might have a skill requirement on it.
Yeah, we'll keep it at the -3.
Yeah.
Means that, you know, part of why it has that requirement makes it where you can make it better in other ways. Yeah, we're good.
Yeah. Next up is stuff that is related to a couple of different maneuvers you're able to do, which is Trip Focus, which is a 10 cost, which was weapon is designed and capable of tripping an opponent, and you can make an opposed athletics acrobatics check to trip the opponent instead of dealing damage. This is different than having the trip trait on an actual weapon. This is in lieu of dealing damage.
My issue with this trait is... like, you can already just do that and not use the weapon at all. Because, like, you could just use those maneuvers, and at that point, what's the point of the weapon?
I'm gonna double check something, because we might have changed something in how those worked in order to make these technically useless.
Maybe we can always change it to being lowered difficulty or something.
It could be, but I just want to double check something because this is.
Because grapple, at least for the last 3 updates, which is more than 6 months now. I swear I'm gonna get the next update out soon, guys.
Yeah. Well, just a reminder that these traits are like over a year old.
Well, I'm just saying grapple itself has not been changed for at least 6 months, but I don't think we changed it before that anyways. We kept it very straightforward and simple.
Yeah. Trip. I know it got made into a sub-maneuver.
Yeah, under grapple.
I think one of the things is that for some of these they had increased difficulty and the weapon version didn't. But now most of these lost their increased difficulty over time due to updates, and weapons were never given anything to compensate, so maybe move them to be -1 difficulty. If that isn't already a thing that exists later on, which I don't think it is.
I don't think so.
I'm good with it being...
I'm pretty sure the main point of these was the fact that they didn't have an increased difficulty.
I'm good with them being -1 difficulty. As for the cost on this, I'd say 9 for each.
9? Okay. Check. At -1. Because yeah, thinking about it, I'm fairly certain of that now. Disarming. Disarming is the offensive version for the custom and unwieldy. The same way that sturdy and flimsy had the sundering trait. Yeah. So all those are at 10, so I'm pretty good with keeping this at a 10. Also, we want to change all of those to 9, or change trip and grapple back up to 10.
I think make this 9 and make it basically the same as trip and grapple. With the whole, you can do that instead of dealing damage.
Yeah, to be fair, most of these don't already deal damage, but yeah.
Well, I mean, that trait doesn't, but the, actually...
I'm not going to change it. Yeah.
The weapon itself will have the option to deal damage, presumably. But having
if you take the disarm, go ahead.
But having this trait means that you can, you got a better chance of disarming enemies instead of trying to deal damage to them.
When doing a disarm maneuver, you don't deal damage under any circumstances, actually. It's not like an outright ban, it's just that there is nothing in which you get to roll damage in disarm or any of its sub-maneuvers.
Well, yeah, but that's the same for trip and grapple, but you've got that wording on there anyways for that.
Yeah, that was more for... Yeah, that was for some edge case stuff that technically existed. But yeah, no, I'm just gonna... I'll just throw it on all these. Fun part about going over slightly old stuff, yay. Sundering, I'll also make an item, just to make it match. Next up, penetrating. This is not something that you need to buy additional times in order to make it work, really. So I just stapled it at the same cost as penetrating. As in the EXP version.
Okay, so they gotta purchase this. So it has to have the this intrinsic, and then also needs to have purchase of XP. Yes.
Currently no, but we were kind of trending towards doing that, so I figured that it would be a good time to discuss if as a power trait it would have that instead of because mostly it's ranged traits that have that.
I think we should remove that as an intrinsic.
And just move it down to the experience section.
Well, it's already in the XP section. Well, no, because that does
Okay.
make sense. I would say, all right.
The big problem is the making sense part, yeah.
Yeah. So penetrating will be a thing, as an intrinsic trait. I would say make it 10 XP. And instead what it is that you may purchase the penetrating power trait. And that's how we're going to word it, I think. Is that having, like, reach on it. This does not necessarily increase the melee range of the weapon. It just means you may now purchase the reach trait. Because I'm going to switch, which also, for the record, I'm switching the wording of intrinsics to just be intrinsics. I'm dropping the trait part.
Alright.
Because having two different things called traits was confusing.
Alright. So, as a base for the penetrating, I said may purchase the penetrating power trait, does not grant the actual EXP trait.
Exactly.
Sounds good.
And that's what I'm thinking we do with all of these ones. You know, the throwable, the reach, etc.
That's fine. Or we can make a column that.
We're gonna need to make a throwable EXP trait, but we can do that pretty quickly.
I think we should have had one already, but yeah.
Yeah. Where were you throwable? There you are. All right. Cool. In that case, versatile. Bit of a weird one. It's really good, but only when people actually use it.
Yeah.
I mean, I definitely made use of it with Squirrel, and I've seen people making use of it in the Star Wars game. But to be fair,
Yeah, but
those were basically the only two times we've had weapons really used so far.
yeah, I mean, there's been it's a powerful trait, but again, only when people like actually use it. So, I'm honestly fine keeping it at a 10. I think that fits it pretty well.
I'm good with 10.
Cool. Hack, Impact, Impale, and Impact, I think are all 25s because there's also a feat version of them that unlocks them for moves, so...
Well, remember that intrinsics are not XP.
They are not, but the feat version lets you put it on everything for free. This will take up an intrinsic points just to have it.
Yeah.
I just viewed it as, like, in terms of cost in my head when it comes to, like, planning out things as roughly analogous. I'm fine changing the number, though. It's just that I looked at that and I went, yeah, that should probably just be 25.
Yeah, I'm okay with it being 25. It is a very powerful thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Next up is Reload, which I thought about putting at 5, and then remembered, wait, this eats up actions when you have to reload. So, on one hand, fucks with your action economy. On the other hand, it really depends on how often you have to reload. Because, like, you know, this is a lot more impactful on a 1 ammo weapon than a 100 ammo weapon.
I'm definitely thinking we need to revisit the reload and ammo as a whole.
Yeah, well, ammo got a revamp that we were happy with. It's the reload portion of it that we haven't touched.
Well, the only thing about ammo that got a revamp was that, you know, you spend half on the ranged weapon and then half on the ammo that you're using with it.
Well, we also made the ammo cost that varies be equal to the amount of bullets that you have, and it's a positive trait. So, like, the first bullet's free, but besides that, like, you know, if you want to have a 6-shot revolver, it's 5 XP.
Yeah.
On the ammo part. So ammo will quickly outstrip the reload negative, even if it's at 10. But also, you know, if you don't attack that often, it's different. So I think a good way to change this might be scaling the ammo trait cost per bullet. To make having additional ammo capacity really matter. Because there is also, like, you know, the negative cap to think about in terms of how much you can really benefit. So you can't just, like, get infinite ammo but make your reload take 5 years. It doesn't work like that.
Sorry, I'm kind of contemplating things here.
So, you know, we can change ammo to be 2 or 3 times as trait point. Like 3 times ammo, 2 times ammo.
So first off, I would say add another intrinsic, which would be... I guess we can just put it as magic ammo.
Ammo...
Which
magic.
is gonna basically be your, you know... You got your super special bow that just generates arrows of light rather than you pulling them out. You know, that kind of thing.
So I made one just be called Ammo Magic and Ammo Mundane.
For ammo magic, I would say that it's a, you know, you just... I think every ranged weapon needs to have ammo. And magic is literally just, it's infinite ammo. But your storyteller has to approve it. And for that, I would say 25.
Should definitely be 25, and then probably tier 3 or higher.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna change the description here. Give me a second. So the one thing that I'm really thinking about with this is that I'm just trying to think about a good way to word this that isn't the word vomit. I don't know about requiring all ranged weapons to have ammo per se, because that gets pretty weird with a couple of things in terms of
Well, the only
like
thing...
throwables.
Throwables are a different thing altogether. Which in that case, you're throwing the weapon itself. It's not actually ammo. It's just you're throwing that weapon.
Yeah.
So it's in its own category. When I'm talking about ranged weapons, I am talking about your bow, which even though you're only knocking one arrow at a time, that is still ammo.
Yeah.
Although
Ammo for a bow should probably be considered more a quiver, but yeah.
Well, this is just the generic trait that everything shares. But what I am thinking, and even then, like, whatever quiver or whatnot you have, that's up to... That's fine.
Yeah, I'm just imagining the archer that carries around a single fucking arrow and has to go and find a new arrow between every shot. Because they have to have an ammo of one, and because their bow is like a medium weapon, they need to always spend one turn or one action, standard action, in order to reload their bow, so they're just like scavenging a new arrow every time.
Well, things are going to be messy here while we try and hammer this out, because this is something that needs to be really figured out. For the mundane, I say the first ammo is free. Basically, like what you have.
Yeah.
So, you got your you got your bow that just has the one shot, and then you have to reload. I'm thinking that...
Do we want a trait that decreases the reload speed?
That's what I'm thinking. Is
because then you can take a bow that's
instead.
medium. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shorten
Since we were changing this, I was gonna throw recommend that we throw that in as well. So it sounds like we all agree with that one. I'm gonna write that for ammo magic, because otherwise, you just throw a fuck ton of reload on it.
Yeah, that works. I'm just trying to think of the best way to do it where, every ranged weapon is going to have reload, but it's a matter of what it requires for that reload. So, a bow, it's really quick and easy to grab an extra arrow out of your quiver. So even though you've only got one shot at a time, it's... You can, throw those shots real fast.
Yeah, so I'm thinking... It's just naming traits like that. I'm just gonna throw these at like 10 for now because that's a decent standard. I'm just gonna word it like that for now, and see what we think.
Well, I think the first thing we should do is figure out what we want the base reload to be. Like, do
I
we...
kind of just assumed standard.
We'll just we'll start with a bow for we'll start with figuring out a bow.
All right.
I know in most systems it's just free. You can just grab another arrow and shoot. And with that, like, do we want that to be the case?
Well, here's a good question. Do we want people to be able to multi-attack with a bow?
That would be ideal.
Then it almost has to be free.
It would basically have to be a free. Or otherwise make the ammo count not be the bow itself. It'd have to be like the quiver or something. But that also runs into the fact of, okay, but like, wouldn't that then also make it be based on the amount of arrows that you have so it goes full circle?
Yeah, and it also changes the dynamic of a gun, because with the gun, yes, some of them are really quick to reload. It's press the button, flick it, and then pop in, but that's
yeah,
like
which is this sort of thing is why I had it the way it was working in the first place. Was to basically make it go, okay, yeah, no, you could scale your ammo count, but it really depends on your how much trait points you want to dedicate towards it. Maybe we can also describe ammo as not just the amount that is loaded, but the amount that is ready for use at a moment's notice. That way you can increase your ammo with a bow, but that's viewed more as having more arrows ready to go without having to shift things around and maybe retrieve more ammo, more arrows. And so with a gun, you could maybe increase your ammo beyond your actual normal like guns limit, but it's flavored as having some extra bullets ready to go that you can speed load.
one of those humorous extra long clips. Or, excuse me, magazines. Because those are funny.
Yeah, it's just, you know, that's your That's you duct taping an upside down other banana mag to your AK.
Okay, Call of Duty.
Yeah, I know, right?
I had a roommate that left a... From what I could tell, it was a magazine for a standard pistol, but it was this giant circle.
Yeah, drum mag. You can
Drum
get those for 9mm Glocks. They're hilarious to watch
Yeah,
people fire
they're
with.
great.
They're the dumbest thing ever because they're terrible, but they're funny.
Oh yeah, they are fucking awful, but they're great.
Worst things to try and fill. I have one. I have one of those drum mags for my semi-auto shotgun. It's stupid. It's huge and heavy and stupid, but it's funny.
Anyways, I'm in favor of changing ammo to just sort of be more flavoring of how much of it you can have on hand before you need to grab more, as opposed to how much fits in the weapon at any given time.
I like that description. You know, if you're multi-attacking, I guess, because actually grabbing... Like, you can train to grab arrows from a quiver really fast, but it's really not... It does take a bit of an action.
Yeah, but also what archers will generally do is, if they're good, they'll do stuff like grab out a few arrows at a time, but only knock them one at a time.
Exactly.
Usually they'll hold them in one of their hands, depending on how they were trained.
Yeah,
Hold
so
it in the
that would
hand,
be...
or stick it, like, in the ground in front of them or something, yeah.
Yeah, like, obviously, only one is going into the boat at the same time, because doing more than that's generally just actually kind of dumb.
Unless you're doing trick shots for show, it's not practical, though.
Yeah. But it's representative of how much you have on hand before you need to do something to grab more.
Yeah, I like that description.
Yeah.
And then the standard reload, I think, which this will just... I am thinking the standard reload here will just be a 0, and it's basically required if the weapon is... has ammo, and it'll be this. I'm good with this description here. Or basically that. Like, you know, you got a quick weapon, it's light weapon, it's quick, standard for medium, full for heavy.
Yep. What do you think about the speed load and slow load traits?
I like those.
I think it's also neat downgrading quick to reaction.
I like that, yeah.
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
Then for slow, if it's already full and you try doing it, then congrats, it just eats another standard action.
Yes, you may have your giant hand cannon. Good luck reloading it.
Actually, maybe
You'll
instead
be
of...
done for when I'm done reloading my blunderbuss in 3 turns. Rapscallion.
I think if it's quick, then it becomes free, actually.
Then reload doesn't exist.
But what I am saying is they can only do it once per turn. So that will only apply... They get 1 free reload per turn. That's what I'm thinking.
I'm fine with that.
Just 'cause I
it
don't-
having an action cost, but I'm fine with it.
I just don't want to take away the reaction from players. I don't want to do that to them.
Well, if they're ranged fighters, the times that they actually get to use their reaction or AO aren't exactly high.
Well,
They're pure rain.
skill reactions. That's the
True.
main thing
Yeah.
I'm thinking of. Which, you know, that's kind of one of the main, one of the primary things for a ranged fighter anyways, is their job is keeping an eye on the field and seeing what's going on and communicating as well as, you know, shooting. It's a little difficult to survey the entire field of battle when you got an orc in your face.
Work,
Yeah.
work.
But yeah, so speed load, slow load. I'm fine changing names on those two, but I figured that they're pretty just self-evident.
I like those names.
Just that. So next up is mounted, which maybe we can change that to something else. But medium or heavy weapon only. A light melee weapon is mounted to this weapon. This weapon has its own stat block, and you can use it simultaneously with this weapon. Basically, like, you know, if you have it out, you can use either. Not like you can do it as part of the same attack. The melee weapon loses 10 traits. Basically just going to make it mirror whatever the cost of mounted is. This is like the equivalency of having a mounted bayonet to your rifle.
Lava, you still need to draw your kobold form.
Ooh, get got. Anyways, like
I'm
I'm fine
okay with
knocking it
mounted.
down, but I'm also like, you know, I feel like 10 fits pretty well.
I'm good with it where it's at, yeah.
It's definitely useful, especially for basically going, hey, I don't want to get completely fucked over if I'm using my two-handed rifle in melee. Give me my bayonet.
Yes, a historically very useful weapon.
Yep.
Until people put notches on it.
Next up, these ones I was considering just redding out, but then I also realized that we were kind of trying to make rules for creatures with the new size category things, so I don't know if we want to just like make one for every single size category and list them all as 0, and then just make it so that way there's like difficulty based on what the category difference is, or you know, light, medium, heavy shifting. Like, you know, medium large weapon is a heavy weapon for medium characters, that kind of shit. I don't know.
I think let's combine them into one, make it 0. And the one would be non-standard size. Or something along those lines. And then it'll be +1 difficulty per size category difference. And if it's more than 2 from where you are, then you just can't use it.
Simple enough.
That's of difference.
Well, maybe +2 accuracy difficulty if it's bigger, +2 power difficulty if it's smaller.
You know what, here, instead of Okay, wait, hold on. Size. Then is larger. Difficulty rates. Accuracy. Difference between weapon and user. Cool, how's that wording? That's it.
I like that.
Yeah, that works. It should be clean enough.
And then, they can just note what size it's for
Yeah.
with the trait, so.
Here, whenever I do that, I like to do that.
Yeah, that works.
With the brackets, that way they know it's a replacement. Or an insert here. Alright, next up is returning. Which is... Honestly, I think it's a 20. What do you guys think? It is weapon will return to the user if lost or thrown with an action. Type of action required is the same as using the weapon. Quick for light, standard for medium, full for heavy.
I like
I
that.
guess 20 is fine. Yeah. It
Like, we
feels
can-
almost beat, but not quite. So, yeah, we're good.
Yeah, I'm about to say, like, we could definitely play with it a bit. Like, knock it 18, 21, yada. But I think 20 honestly just kind of fits it.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna write must be on same plane of existence.
Lol. But I want
that-
my sword to fly through the multiverse at hypersonic speeds to get to me in one round.
Yeah, but it'd be kind of funny, but then also it removes a couple of legitimately funny and interesting strategies, like throwing an opponent's weapon into a pocket dimension. Which I find even more hilarious, so I want to allow it. Aspected, we read it out last time, so I didn't really do anything with it besides putting a 0 behind it. Because it still kind of read it out. I should probably read out the whole thing. Because we weren't sure what to do with this last time.
Alright, so aspected. I am thinking 5. It requires storyteller approval. By default, it will replace the, bludgeoning, slashing, or piercing. And
Considering
then
we have the ability to add on the typing or additional typing, yeah, we don't need to create additional things now, do we?
yeah. Yeah. And then, you know, if they've got versatile, then they could have, we can update versatile where they can choose which type of damage it is. They'll get access to multiple types of damage with that. I think for versatile... maybe for versatile we make it, where is it? There it is. Yeah, I'm good with it being 10, but yeah, I think we should update this. You may select another type for this weapon. And then, yeah, you can just repurchase it multiple times if you want to have multiple types on the weapon.
Yep. To be fair, you could always just keep repurchasing versatile anyway.
Fair. But yeah, I think that's how we should do the aspected thing. Thoughts?
I'm just gonna write a note saying, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Just flat damage replacement. Then there's feats that, since there's other intrinsic traits that allow you to choose a bludgeoning or a secondary damage type. Yeah.
Yeah, I still wish that we could attach basic subtype stuff onto elemental types, but eh.
I mean, we do have that option.
Did we actually make it an optional rule?
That is a rule with moves where you can have 2 types of damage on that.
Oh, no. On moves, you have to buy the damage separately. I mean, like,
Yeah.
just, like, having it be, like, I like, the entire attack just does, like, you know, electric piercing damage.
Yeah, but then it's really complicated to figure out how to resist it and stuff.
Yeah, but only if there's, like, a ton of it. Well, actually, not even really a ton of it, because it would only work with the basic subtype stuff.
Yeah, but people have trouble.
Yeah,
that
but I think it'd be
already.
really fucking cool.
Just put it as an optional rule set. If you're with a group that can actually handle that level of complexity, sure, it would be cool, but...
It's actually, thinking about it, it's not that complicated.
It's not, because it's
If-
just the basic triangle, which they should know anyway.
Yeah. It's
And
like
there's already the max of +2, -2. It's right there.
It is, but people are gonna be... I like it, I do, but we already learned how people are confused by things.
I haven't seen anybody be confused by the type chart. At least
Not
beyond...
since we automated it.
Yeah, not since we automated it, and even then, the only thing that they were confused about was actually reading the chart, which, well, can't really do much about that when we are using the industry standard design.
Yeah, the only... also, yeah, sorry, that is exactly how it was working, how I've been wanting it to work this entire time in my dreams. But the only thing that I was really thinking about doing in order to make it be better on the type reference thing is, instead of it being the difficulty change, I just move it over to being the difficulty directly. So instead of it being -1, it says 6. That way people are less confused on if it's good or bad, even though it tells you if it's good or bad.
Screw it, people can learn, implement it. Do it.
Alright. And I am thinking we are only going to do, you know, type plus basic triangle.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
No combining Earth Electric for the whole fucking thing. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Just the subtype.
Because that will be easy to figure out.
Yeah.
I would
Just the
say
subtype. Otherwise, it makes no fucking sense.
add another trait. Make it cost, I'd say 3. Requires versatile, and it's called combined, where instead of choosing one or the other, you have the option to combine them into one.
I may select an available basic subtype and
And I'm assuming the operative word here is can. I'm assuming we're not going to make people do that. They can choose
Correct.
just to do fire damage.
yeah, that's why I'm saying may.
Understood.
Yeah. May select an available basic subtype and I'm gonna put aspected type. Because I also don't want them combining different basic subtypes. This is just to use a basic subtype with an aspected type. For now, I'm just going to word it as may select an available basic subtype and aspected type to combine types for the power phase of an attack with this weapon. Combined 3 XP intrinsic trait may select an available basic subtype and aspected type to combine types for the power phase of an attack with this weapon. Requires versatile. Aspected type for this weapon. All right, how's that looking? I put it right below versatile.
Rolling for versatile. Wait, I should just click on your name. There it is.
Yep, looks good.
Cool. Era, you notice anything or want to change anything?
Am I muted? Nope, I'm good.
All right, cool.
Yep. Sorry, starting to get the sleepy eyes.
Yep,
Yeah.
don't worry, we are almost done.
I want to get through the weapons tonight, but we are overtime.
Yeah.
But also, I want to get through the weapons stuff at least tonight. Especially because it doesn't look like the armor traits have been updated yet.
Not really. I looked through them because it was literally a single page with no scrolling, and I just mentally pegged where I wanted them to be because it's for me it's on a page with no scrolling compared to weapon traits where the multiple pages of scrolling. So I figured it was more important for the weapon ones to actually get them written down as compared to looking at armor and just going, yeah, that's pretty simple. Also because like half the things that are in the armor traits are things that already exist in weapon traits. Anyways, before we run out of energy, repairing line 61.
Thank you.
Which is weapon repairs X durability per tier per long rest. Light equals 1, medium equals 2, heavy equals 3. It just, you know, you don't have to roll to repair. It will just slowly repair itself. It's not very fast.
We want to push this up to 25?
Honestly, I was thinking drop it.
Yeah, but say it's more of like it's more of a it will just kind of slowly repair itself sort of thing, as opposed to it will always keep your weapon in tip-top shape.
Yeah.
If something fucks up your weapon with a sunder or something, then it's gonna stay fucked up for a while. But if you're taking minor damage in like fights or skirmishes, and then like occasionally your weapon gets nicked, this will keep it in top shape without you having to roll to maintain it.
I say drop it to 10.
Ooh, 10. Okay.
Okay.
I'm thinking more like 12 then.
It's just
it is
one
just
point.
3 repair.
Yeah, but it's only 1 point for a light weapon per day.
Per tier. So if it's tier 3, it'll heal 3.
Fair, but still. That ain't
I
much.
will admit it's more impactful for things like armor.
Yeah. For armor, that's definitely going to be useful, but for weapons, it's like they're either trying to break it, in which case you have to roll to repair, or they're not, in which case the only damage it's taking is from you botching.
Yeah. Cool. In that case, this goes to 5. This goes to 8. This goes to 10. Because of the halving effect. Which, scrolling up to penetrating, just to copy and paste. May purchase the short range trait. Medium range. Long range. Requires short range intrinsic. Requires medium range intrinsic. Alright, cool.
This
this
is
is
live
just...
doc too, right?
What do you say?
This is the live doc too, right? This is where all the traits
Yeah.
are currently listed.
Yeah.
Okay, so that means all this is immediate.
Basically, but I'm just considering this rolled into like the actual update.
Go ahead and mark it as orange for now, though. No, it's fine.
I was about to say, basically the entire doc's going to be orange.
Yeah.
Besides, if I literally have told people multiple times that if shit on the document here changes and you don't understand it, just message me.
Oh, I know. What I meant was that means that people that use weapons, aka me, has to update right away.
Well, not really. I mean, I guess kinda, but like also
It's when I
just
put out
wait
the
until
update. Yeah.
I know.
Just wait until the update.
Yeah, I can.
My plan is... I know I've got a lot that needs to be updated, but I'm going to be kind of picking and choosing through the notes and such for update, just to get an update out.
Alright.
Things that seem major, that I want to get out there. I'm going to get out there, and I have just been so busy. Like, I'm probably canceling Wild Traditions tomorrow because I just have too much on my plate to get done. But we'll figure that out tomorrow, and whether I'm able to squeeze in time to prepare for that or not. Either way.
Yep, finishing out this, because most of this is going to be pretty simple. Indiscriminate, which same as XP, which I listed at -5.
Yep.
You know, it,
So, with this, I would say it needs to have one of the AoE traits.
yeah, I wrote that in really quick already.
Okay.
Where I wrote requires having some form of AoE trait.
Okay. Yeah, that's good.
Next up, the socketed lists. Having an actual gem in does not take intrinsic points, so I was just gonna keep it at 10.
Yeah, that works.
10 per tier.
Yep.
Utility weapon, I kind of kept flickering between 10 through 15, as well as 12. Because it doesn't cause damage, but usually if it's not causing damage, you're still doing something with it, otherwise you wouldn't bother having it. But not dealing damage is still kind of important for a weapon.
Yeah. First off on that, I think it should just say it cannot have any power traits.
Well, there's a reason that we said that. Application power is a power trait.
Fair. Alright, I'm okay with the -10.
Yeah, I don't got a good answer for that one. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine. There's a reason why I waffled on that so much. Single use, I think deserved the 20. I didn't really think it was up to 25. I feel like it's a lot more about 20.
I'm good with that.
Because
That's
yeah, it
fine.
breaks after use, but also you're kind of planning around that.
You don't throw a grenade and expect to use it again. I hope.
Yeah, well, there's a reason why we're gonna keep picking up Sprocket. Adaptive form felt feat-like to me. Even though it's effectively dynamic, it's more impactful because it lets you choose between melee and ranged. Yeah, this is how you get like Bloodborne trick weapons or Final Fantasy gunblades or the like.
Yeah, I'm good with that.
I feel like it's feat equivalent.
Yeah, it's another one of those weird ones.
Actually, considering it is similar to dynamic, I might say drop it to 15. Because also, they've got to have all of those traits on there. So we want to make sure that they have, intrinsic points to actually spend on other things. So maybe, honestly, maybe even make it 0.
No, absolutely. It lets you swap between having a melee and a ranged weapon.
Yeah, but
So,
your range trait, your ranged intrinsics would not be useful when it's in melee mode.
That's fair. I guess we have changed that.
Yeah. So, if they have... they're basically going to actually use this. They'll have to basically split their intrinsics between, you know, melee or ranged.
Do we
Which
add the ST approval required part to it then?
Yes.
Alright, so 0. But it goes to ST approval fired. At the front of it. Do we want to kick down what tiers you could start doing it at then? Because it's 0 and it's already ST approval.
I would say so. I'd say all tiers. Well, not tier 1. Since tier 1's meant to be basically you picked up a pitchfork.
Yep. Technically speaking, I have an adaptive form weapon at tier 1, but I specifically asked Digi for it and had a backstory reason for it, so you know. The benefits of, hey, so normally I can't do this, but I kind of want to do this. Can I get permission? Yeah, okay, thanks. It's great. Being able to ask for permission to bend rules as an official part of a system. Fucking great. Volatile. That's the explodey. It does explode if you botch. I view that as pretty decent -20. Because it doesn't kill you. It just does a lot of damage.
Now, does this render the weapon unusable?
Yeah.
Yep.
It
Then
explodes.
I'm not sure we should have it be the same cost as single use. I think one of those
That's fair.
should be adjusted. Because
That
this is
case, I'll try
definitely
this to-
much more drastic than single use. The other thing to consider here is that with this, the only thing that you could actually put volatile on is tier 4.
Well, you can still put it on other things. It's just you can't benefit. Also, heavy weapons exist.
Yep.
Fair.
And
Like
not to throw Vari under the bus, he'll still put it on something, even if there's no benefits. So,
Yeah, I was about to say, like, because, you know, you can put more than the weapon can handle, it's just you won't benefit. You know, technically speaking, you can make a move that has every single negative known to mankind on it. It's just that you'll only benefit up to half of your XP cap on it.
Well, you should definitely
Anyways, I
note in there that the weapon is unusable afterwards.
Alright. I kicked single use down to 15.
That works.
Alright, executing, I felt was a pretty solid 15, especially considering that's the same as the XP cost. Do we want to do the thing where it lets you buy it?
I'm okay with that just being an intrinsic. I don't
Yeah,
think
because
they
I
need
figured
to...
that this felt like it fit as an intrinsic.
Yeah, I don't think it needs to be a something that they have to buy with XP.
Yeah, I felt the same about Affinity Bane.
I'm good with that.
yeah.
You know, Affinity Bane, it's expensive, but, you know, if you want to have your sword that's really good at beating up fire types, then go ahead. You're just literally going to have to pay for it. Cool, so that is all of the traits now more dynamically costed on weapons, which the the trait point dynamicism matters a lot more than the armor, in my opinion, right now.
The only thing I say is let's make Bane more generalized as affinity or creature. I know we don't have actual specified creatures, but like in the case of the sword that Cobalt got, where it's effective against fairies, the Fae.
Yay, the return of everybody wants a Dragon Slayer weapon again.
I mean, why not? Other than, you know, you being a dragon and all, why not?
I'm just being... It's the 14-year-old edgelord of everybody has a Dragon Slayer weapon, apparently, in God's green earth.
It's okay, Zim. I know exactly why you want this. You're gonna put the himbo creature type on a weapon and use it against us.
I was not thinking of that, but I like it.
You have just motivated him to go ahead and finish prepping for tomorrow. Got it.
I know, right?
No, they're not using weapons.
Pretty
They are
funny, though, if they
Pokemon.
just brought out a sort of. It'd be pretty funny if one of them just brought out a sort of himbo slang, though.
But there's
No.
the Bane spell.
No, they pull out the Uzi of himbo slaying.
With the thought that if it hits enough times, eventually one of them has to get lucky enough to hurt a himbo.
Exactly. But also they're, you know, the mob, so...
Yeah. Anyway, so that'll conclude that. The only thing that I want to bring up, not for actual like review right now because brain melty, is that I put a shit ton of alternate layout stuff in the mock-up for the 1.6 version of the sheet. Obviously, the 1.6 version of the sheet is not ready. Do not treat as such. I'll relink it in dev.
You.
Blue Bat, as we have seen, just because they're himbo does not mean that they are not also lucky in the worst possible ways for me. Case in point, Rain apparently knowing fucking tax law like the back of his goddamn hand.
Well, he's got to evade those taxes somehow.
Anyways, the reason I'm bringing this up is that most of this I have the things kind of figured out, or alternate versions of it figured out, as this is basically one giant pincushion sheet. The thing that I wanted to bring up for people to look at is, well, first of all, just things on the sheet in general. But importantly, the combat sheet has a bunch of different layouts for things that I was tooling around with, and generally just wanted people to look over when they have the time.
I can do that over the next couple of days.
Yep. This is more about letting you know that this exists. Obviously, if it has, you know, reference errors, it's because I'm not coding it when it's not in its proper spot. Rather die. But yeah, so I got a bunch of things to look over, to look at. Copy of stat sheet is probably it seems to be the more popular one when I was doing the A or B thing with people. Copy of stat sheet seems to be the more popular one. That was version A. Stuff like that. Just, you know, start looking over this, noting down versions of things that you like, versions of things that you don't like. Because I made this into a lot of pincushion. An egregious amount of pincushion, actually.
I will do my best, but like I said earlier, I have so much I've got to do.
That's
I-
fair. The reason that I'm bringing this up is that, we have a couple of weeks until the next dev session, so mentioning it now at the end of this one, so that way people at least will know.
You can pull me on a call possibly tomorrow. We can look over it together live if you want, by the way. I do not work tomorrow.
All right, cool. I will keep that in mind.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just wanted people to be aware of the fact that I'm kind of in the stage where I'm going to start needing like actual feedback stuff on which versions of things we like in order to move forward. Because I'm already starting to work on pin cushioning conditions and utilities. After that, it's items and notes, and then I'm out of things to start pin cushioning.
Well, let me do this. Go ahead and, with that post, do basically what you were telling us in ScarDev, and then I'll tag everyone in that channel.
Okay, so basically just write out my spiel, and then you'll tag people.
Yeah. That way,
All right, cool.
when they actually look at it, it's, already there. But for now, I'm gonna go ahead and swap games. Brain is mush. Yeah. So, thank everybody for joining us so far on the stream today. That was DevTales. Check out our website, zgfgaming.com. We've got links for our Discord, Telegram, Mastodon, Blue Sky, Patreon, and more. They're on the website as well as down in the description below through our link tree. Thank you to my patrons, tippers, and subscribers. It is your support that keeps this channel alive and going. I cannot do this without your guys' help and your support, so thank you. Consider becoming a patron over at patreon.com/zgfgaming. It's one of the best ways to help out the channel, though you can also do so by sharing the stream around, tipping to the channel directly, picking up merch at zgfgaming.store, or just coming by and hanging out. But for now, thank you so much for joining, and I bid you all the most fondest adieu.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.